Have you ever experienced something like this?
私は石になりたいです。
石? Ah, 石.
That's exactly what I said?
Well, if you've ever had a moment where a native Japanese speaker needed a second to understand you, even though you thought you said something correctly, it might have been because of pitch accent. Every Japanese word has a standard pitch accent. But what is pitch accent? To understand this, you can compare it to stress accent in English. For example, let's look at the word English. English is a two-syllable word, and the first syllable is stressed, meaning it's pronounced louder, longer, and often at higher pitch than the rest of the word. So, it's English, not English. This is stress accent. Similar to this, Japanese has pitch accent. Now, let's look at the word 日本語 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 The pitch starts low at ni and goes up at ho and stays high. 日本語 not 日本語 or 日本語 This is pitch accent. Just like English has heteronyms like object and object, Japanese also has many words that are written the same in hiragana, but pronounced with different pitch accents and have different meanings. For example, ishi, which means doctor, and ishi, which means stone. Ishi, 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 ishi. There are also heteronyms in adjectives like atsui, which means hot, and atsui, which means thick, and in verbs like kaeru, which means to go back, and kaeru, which means to change, and so on. Now, if you have been studying Japanese, you might have heard something like, pitch accent is stupid. No one would confuse a doctor and a stone, because people can tell what you are saying from the context. But the thing is that pitch accent doesn't exist for the purpose of telling words apart. Pitch accent exists in every Japanese word, regardless of whether or not there is a heteronym. To put things in perspective, let's look at the word English again. Even though the word English doesn't have any heteronyms, the stress accent is fixed. It's always pronounced English, not English. This goes the same for Japanese. Even though the word 日本語 does not have a heteronym, it's still pronounced with a certain pitch accent. But why do native Japanese speakers sometimes have a hard time catching words when they are pronounced with a wrong pitch accent, even when the meaning should be obvious from the context? Like, nobody would say they want to be a stone, right? Well, that's because a native Japanese speaker's brain has already developed a strong connection between the meaning with the sound, including pitch accent. For us, ishi and ishi are two completely different words. It's kind of like the L and R situation for Japanese people and native English speakers. Since Japanese phonetics does not have an L or R sound, we sometimes accidentally end up saying things like I eat rice when we mean I eat rice. A Japanese person would think, "Of course I meant rice. Why would you think I said I eat rice? It doesn't make any sense. Can't you just understand me from the context?" But for a native English speaker, rice and rice are completely different words. When a native speaker hears the word rice, the first thing they think of is the bug, even though the sentence is strange. In the same way, when a native Japanese speaker hears the word ishi, the first thing we hear is stone. That being said, there is absolutely no need to worry about it. Pitch accent is not the most crucial factor when learning Japanese. Even if it takes people a second to understand you, that's fine. So please don't get caught up on it. The information in this video is here to help, not something to stress out about. Primarily, there are only two levels of pitch, high and low. This is a relative concept, so it's not like there are designated levels of pitch. As you can see here, Nihongo, the pitch is not completely binary. It's just that a high pitch sounds higher than the adjoining low pitch. So, if pitch accent has two levels in pitch, what about the words with only one sound, like ha? Well, they still have pitch accent because pitch accent of a word involves the following particle as well. Ha, which means leaf, has lower pitch than the following particle, so it's pronounced haga. Ha, which means tooth, has higher pitch than the following particle, so it's pronounced haga. Haga, 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 haga. 歯がきれいですね。歯がきれいですね。Now, let's look at the four basic patterns of standard pitch accent. First is the head-high pattern. The pitch starts high on the first sound and then it goes down. The following particle is also low. Some examples of this pattern are は、歯が、医師、医師が、家族、家族が。Next is the middle high pattern. The pitch starts low and it goes up and then goes down again. The particle also attaches low. Examples are あなた、あなたが、食べ物、食べ物が、朝ごはん、朝ごはんが。The third is the tail high pattern. The pitch starts low and then goes up, and again the particle attaches low. Examples are 石、石が、花、花が、明日、明日が。And finally, the last pattern is the flat pattern. Now, the flat pattern looks the same as the tail high pattern by the word itself, but the difference is, while the particle after a tail high word attaches low, the particle after a flat word attaches high. So, it's flat, not because there isn't a rise, but because there is no drop in pitch. Examples are 歯、歯が、花、花が、仕事、仕事が。One thing that is common in those four patterns is that the first and second sounds of a word always have a different pitch. So, if the first sound of a word has a low pitch, the second one always has a high pitch. And if the first sound has a high pitch, then the second one always has a low pitch. There are several ways to visually note pitch accent. Here are a few examples. These styles are used in the latest edition of the NHK Accent Dictionary and Shinmeikai Accent Dictionary, although they might not be very beginner-friendly, as you have to learn how they work. These are also popular as they are visually intuitive. In this style, the letters L and H are used to show low and high pitches. And lastly, just like any other language, Japanese also has multiple regional accents as well as the standard accent. Standard pitch accent is also called Tokyo accent. This map shows a broad categorization of regional accents. The standard accent, or Tokyo accent, is spoken in the blue area in this map. Please note that this is just a simplified map of the regional accents. Accents can be categorized in smaller groups too. And that is an introduction to Japanese pitch accent. I hope this was informative. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. And you could even show more support by making a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link below. I would greatly appreciate your support as it helps me to continue making more content like this. You can also check out the Japanese Explained Instagram in the link below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.